Join host Charisma Eve on a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and unapologetic authenticity. In each episode, Charisma dives deep into conversations, exploring what it truly means to embrace oneself fully and live life with genuine charisma. From personal antidotes to interviews, Unapologetically Me is a space where vulnerability meets strength, where listeners are encouraged to celebrate their uniqueness and step into their power without reservation. Tune in for inspiring stories, practical tips, and a dose of unfiltered wisdom as Charisma Eve guides you towards embracing your most authentic self. It's time to own your truth and live unapologetically. And now your host, Charisma Eve.
Welcome to our listeners. So glad to see everyone. I have missed you guys for a couple of episodes, and I'm so glad to see everybody. Thank you. Welcome back to Unapologetically Me. This is Charisma Eve, and I'm so glad to see everyone. Thank you for listening this afternoon. I have missed you a couple of episodes I've been out. Unfortunately, I've been a little ill, but I'm so grateful and thankful to be alive. Thankful to be here. Thankful to be walking and alive, and thankful and grateful to just, be glad to say I'm here. I know I sound redundant, but I had a little episode. You guys know I have MS, and I'll tell you a little bit more in the days to come about my illness. But a couple of weeks ago, I had an episode where I was out sick, and I had to be in the hospital, and that's why I was not here. But I am so glad to be back I'm in the land of the living. And I'm glad that God allowed me to be here, be once again here with you, and to say that I am unapologetically me. And I'm just grateful. I have a lot of gratitude today because somebody didn't wake up this morning. Somebody didn't have the opportunity to say that they had that gratitude, and they had that chance to say, thank you, Lord, for giving me another opportunity to say, I am grateful to say, thank you for letting me be here unapologetically. I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful, and I have a friend of mine that has granted me the chance to be here with me today. I want to welcome her. I want to thank my mentor for allowing her to be here with me. I want to say hello to my mentor. I always want to say hello to my mentor, Dr. Sharon Porter. I love her so much. I never want to leave her out. And I want to say hello to her. But I want to welcome Miss Tina Ratliff. And she is a friend of mine from way, 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 way back. A beautiful spirit, a beautiful soul, and a beautiful artist. She is a singer. We have known each other for well over 20 years, and we've been singing together, and she is still singing and blessing a lot of souls. And I invited her to sing, not to sing unless she wants to, but I invited her to come and to share a little bit about her singing, a little bit about what it is that she does. And she sings, and not only that, but she also has a daycare. She is the owner of a daycare, and she blesses a whole lot of babies and young people. And I've seen her bless a lot of young people. And that, um, oh Lord, I've been able to see her work in that situation as well. And I want to welcome you guys. I tell you, let me just say, part of what happened with me, it had a lot to do with me mentally. So if I sound like I'm losing my train of thought, please forgive me, but I am not going to let the enemy win. I will say that. That is why, after 2 weeks of stammering and stuttering, I chose to come back on and do my episode of Unapologetically Me, because I will not let the devil win. I'm just going to be transparent.
Yeah.
You understand? Because this is something that Dr. Porter helped me to do, and I love doing it. And I just decided I will come back on. So if I sound like I lose my train of thought, give me a minute to figure it out and come back on, and I will come. I'll get it together, and Dr. Porter and Tina will work with me for a couple of minutes, and we'll get it together, and then we'll get that thought together, and we'll get that thing together and come on back, and they'll help me get that train of thought together, and we'll keep it going. Tina, I want to welcome you to Unapologetically Me, and I want to welcome you to the audience, those that have chosen to come and to listen. And I want you to feel free to talk to the audience and tell them a little bit about what it is that you do, whether it is about what you're singing, whether it is about your daycare, whatever it is that you choose to tell the audience what it is that you do, because you do a lot, and you're very, very good at what it is that you do. You're singing, and I know that you have an album that you are about to release, and you sing. You have a group that you travel with, and you sing with a band that you travel with, that you sing with. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, what it is that you do.
Well, let me first say thank you for having me on Unapologetically Me. I am glad to be a part of it. I'm super excited for you. I think this is great. And I think you're gonna do amazing things with it. You have such a story to tell. I was telling somebody earlier that we all have a story. Some of them are not as pretty, but we all have a story, and we choose whether we're going to share the story or keep it to ourselves. But I'm learning in life that a lot of times our story, is not always about us. It's about somebody else, saving somebody else, helping someone else. And so we all have the opportunity to share. And so I'm glad you're using this platform to do that with your story. So as far as me, like she said, I am Tina Ratliff. I have been doing music, probably singing, let me say, since I was probably about 5, 6 years old. I grew up in the church, like a lot of artists do, singing in the choirs, singing with the children's choir and directing and leading. And so I've done that for years. And then I got inspired to write. And so I started writing songs. And I will say I didn't start writing gospel. I actually started writing R&B, but they were mainly like love ballads and love songs and things like that. And so I found a little niche for it, found a like for it, then kind of found a love for it. Um, and I started singing with different groups, different party bands is what they call them. So we usually do things like wedding receptions or corporate events. Like if they have a Christmas party for their business, they usually like to have a live band. So I've done some things like that, and it's been a great experience for me because it has definitely stretched me. I grew up singing in church, so singing anything other than that was kind of foreign to me. But there was an owner of a band that saw me singing, and he saw something in me, and he was like, "Listen, we gotta have you to come out with us, and and hang with us, and like you'll love it. It's fun. It pays well, and we'll take good care of you." So I said, "Well, I'll try it now." But these cats, they've been doing this like for now they're celebrating 55 years, I think. So they've been doing it a long time. And so from that, I really grew a lot vocally. They've seen me mature, and they've been super instrumental in my growth musically. Things that I don't think, are a good fit for me, things that I didn't think I could do, they have pushed me and made me better. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity. My heart is gospel music, and so that's what I started writing. And I released my first song in 2019. I released my first song called "Created," and the song came about because I was at a point in life where I was feeling a little weighed down, a little overweighted, and overwhelmed with just life. And I felt like I was trying to be everything to everybody, trying to be a wife, trying to be a mom, trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to be a friend, trying to be a family, and so it was a lot. It was a lot. And I felt like I was just kind of backed up against the wall, and I got to a quiet place, and I was just kind of seeking God for guidance. And he said, I never told you had to do everything and be everybody's everything. He said, what I need you to understand is that I created you to worship me and to glorify me, and I'll handle the rest. And so I was like, well, you ain't saying but a word. So that sounded a lot easier than everything else I'm trying to do. So I said, say less. So that's how that song was birthed. And it really is I call that that's my baby. I've released some other songs, but that one is my baby. Probably because it was so instrumental for me in my life at that time. Probably the fastest song I've ever written. I think I wrote the whole song in maybe 10, 15 minutes. But I knew it wasn't me, it was inspired by God. And so it was easy. It just came easy. And so that's my baby song. My sophomore project was Good News. And I'm such a news buff. And so I'm always watching CNN and ABC. I don't know why, but because it can be kind of depressing sometimes, but I watch the news all the time. And it just seems like it's always just bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news after bad news, and so, I was thinking, geez, we need to hear something good, and so there was birthed Good News, and so the good news is that we're not alone. We're in this world, but we're not in this world alone. And we go through life, but we don't go through it on our own. And he's never left our side, and that's the good news. Regardless of what's going on around us, he still has us in the palm of his hand, and we're not forgotten. So for that, I'm super grateful. I just did my last single release last year, matter of fact, on my birthday. So that was kind of my birthday present to me, to release my latest single. And that one's called Let Me Tell It. That song was actually written by Marcus Divine. He is a producer out of Detroit. And we got together and I said, man, I need some more material. And he said, well, I'm going to send you some songs and you listen to them and let me know what you're thinking. So he sent me this song called Let Me Tell It. And he sent me another song. And I was thinking, yeah, nah, I don't think that's me, bro. And then out of nowhere, just another particular day, I think I was maybe cleaning up around the house and I was listening to the song, Let Me Tell It Again. And it took on a whole new meaning for me. And I was like, oh, no, this is it. So what's funny is when I called Marcus back to tell him, yeah, I think I am feeling that. Let me tell her. Let's do it. He said, I know. He said, I was waiting you call me back. So that's how that song came about. And so that's how that song came about. And so we released it last year, July 19th. It's done well. I am in the process of still working on some more songs. I have about 3 more songs that I have to record, and I'll be done with the album. So I'm super excited about that. Still got a lot of work to do on it because I am, like you said, an entrepreneur. So I have my own daycare. But it's a lot of work. Sometimes it requires a lot. And so trying to balance the both and family and home sometimes get heavy. So, I just have to prioritize. And so the daycare business I've been in for over 20 years, and I've been doing my own for at least 10, 15 years, maybe longer than that. And we just moved from one building to another building. So we've been getting that all situated. So at this point in my life, the daycare has kind of taken precedent and has been my priority. So that's what I've been working on and focusing on. But I got to get back to the album. So those are but definitely my 2 loves is I've always had a love for music and I've always had a love for children. So that is a little about me. I will say both of these tasks have been challenging. So being an independent artist is super challenging because unlike some artists that have, they have recording contracts and they have labels behind them, pushing them and funding their project. People like me as independent artists, everything comes from us, from our pockets. So it gets a little taxing, but if you have a love for it, you push through that. It gets a little hard, but your passion for it keeps you pushing. And I'll say exactly the same thing really for daycare. And I probably have never said this out loud, but now that I'm thinking about it, they really are parallel in that matter, that even with my daycare, I'm not a big franchise. It's just promoting growth childcare, by TT, so I've had to do a lot of that independently. Everything kind of comes from my pocket on that end as well. So, but again, it's the passion and the love that I have for the kids that keeps me going. So, they are the same in that aspect. And so they are, and I will say they are both very fulfilling. I love to sing as much as I love to see children get it. When they have that aha moment, like, I get what you're trying to show me, TT. I live for those moments. And I do understand and recognize that is a whole nother kind of patience to have. My parents that drop their kids off, like, I don't know how you do it, girl, but so I'm grateful. And being honest, I have tried to get out of childcare a few times, but I always end up back again, working with children, right back in it. So, so I think that it's just who I am. It's just my calling in life, or at least, for a season of my life. It has definitely been what has kept me going and kept me motivated. So yeah, I love them both equally the same.
Well, I have been in your life so long that I have seen Cedric since he's been born,
right. Since birth,
since birth, and I've seen you nurture him since he was maybe 2, and he's 20,
22 now, girl. Ooh,
22,
child.
yeah.
Yes,
And
Lord.
and I've seen Cameron since before he was born, and to see him, you know, come into the daycare, and he's so super super smart.
Oh, he is.
So
He is.
I was listening to you talk about the way
Mhm.
you nurture the children and their growth
Mhm.
and their aha
Yeah.
moment. I
Yeah.
see you do your own child, and the way you
Mhm.
see him get it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the way you how when he gets it, you know, the way he gets it, the way you
Mhm.
are blessed by it when he gets it. I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
that's how you feel when other children, and when other
Yeah.
children, and when I'm there visiting you, which I can't
Woo.
get to visit you that often, especially since I don't have a car now. But when I
Yeah.
have been there and parents have been there to pick their children up, I
Mhm.
see how
Yeah.
that blesses you when the
Yeah.
children are getting ready to leave, and how
Yeah.
they love you.
Yep.
That
Yep.
blesses me. And you have such a love for that. Um,
Yeah.
and then when you were talking about creative, I was
Yeah.
thinking about I was blessed to be one of your background singers.
Yep. Yep.
And I got my t-shirt. I got my little
uh,
t-shirt,
yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and
Absolutely.
I've been blessed to be a part of I was blessed to be a part of one of your background singers for the song that you did last year.
Yep.
And
Yep.
in the video,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to be a part of your life, and having, seeing you grow in
Mhm.
these parts of your life, and how you've grown in your singing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one song that you done when you were a part of my life, when you sang with the angelic melodies, and you
Mhm.
sang "Encourage Yourself."
Yes,
Oh
child.
my goodness,
That's still my
Lord
jam,
have.
child.
Yes, honey. That
That is
song in
still.
and of itself
Mhm.
is such a
Yep.
ministry when
Yeah,
you
it
think about it.
is.
You
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
sometimes you have to encourage yourself. And with
That's
what
right.
I'm going through in my life right now,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
illness, and when I
Hmm.
get alone,
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes I have to encourage myself, you know,
Absolutely.
when it's just
Absolutely.
in God by
Yeah.
myself, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm sure you can probably relate,
Oh
even though
yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
ill.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just think about when you're by yourself,
Yep.
and those financial moments when you need God, and
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
you sometimes you have to just encourage yourself.
Absolutely.
Um,
It's a push. You
it
gotta
is.
you gotta push through sometimes, every day, and he never promised us every day was gonna be sunny and and roses, and so we take the good with the bad, we push through the bad so we get to the good, and
Mhm.
but you're right, you absolutely do. Just like we were talking earlier, and I was saying, we have to remind ourselves of the I ams that God has declared that we are. We
That's
are
right.
healed. We are victorious. We are the head and not the tail.
That's right.
So we have
That's
to
right.
stand on those things, and that's what gets us through those hard
That's right.
times.
And that's
Absolutely.
those faith moments. That is those
Yeah.
faith,
Yep.
because that's
Absolutely.
what lets us know and reminds us of those
Hmm.
moments when we know that we have to remember that God is
Hmm.
our faith, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
because we don't think about the fact that um when we have faith, faith is faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of
Mm-hmm.
things not
That's
seen.
it. That's
So
right.
when
That's right.
we are going through those
Yep.
hard times, those
Yep.
difficult times,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
when we have faith.
Yeah.
That's when we
Absolutely.
have faith,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know.
And sometimes
I
it's
was
tested,
thinking
but
it is. I was just thinking on
Mm-hmm.
Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
when we had our time, I
Mm-hmm.
said, I was thinking about when I was laying there in the bed in the hospital. I was in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital for 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
When I was laying there in the hospital bed and they had that thing wrapped around my head and they
Mm-hmm.
were trying to figure out with the EEG,
Yeah.
nobody there, not even my husband, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, Lord, what's going on with me? What's really going on?
Right, right.
And I said, I'll tell my story later, but when you are at one moment cooking and the next moment you wake up and you got something wrapped around your head and you don't even know what's going on in your
Right.
body,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, God, what is really going what's really
Mm-hmm.
going
Right,
on?
right, right. Right.
But that's my story, and I'll tell my story at another time. But I know what you're saying, and I can really understand and thank God
Mm-hmm.
for your story because
Mm-hmm.
it's people like yourself that
Mm-hmm.
write songs
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
encourage people
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
are and when they are going through that help
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep.
that help.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
I think if I could sum up myself in one word, I think it would definitely be encourager. I feel like that is definitely my 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 calling, to
hmm
encourage, in any capacity and whatever I'm doing, it should always be uplifting and encouraging somebody else. Um, and it just comes easy for me. I just feel like that's what I'm just supposed to do. And sometimes I be looking at other people like, wow, I don't know why you're not doing it. But
right.
we're all created for something different. He has, we all have our own gifts. We all have our own talents and our own calling on our life. I'm glad that I understand what it is. I don't think I understood or even appreciated it when I was younger, but as I've gotten older and wiser, you understand the importance of it. And so I'm settling in there real comfortably, like, and
hmm
it's always a blessing to me too. It's always a blessing to me. Um, I was sitting at work today, and I saw this young lady walking down the street, and she was pushing a cart. I believe she was homeless and sweating profusely. It's been super hot, and I just like as soon as I saw her, I was thinking, oh my God, where is she going? And what is her story? And I went and I said, here, let me give you some water. Like, where are you going? And she said, well, I was trying to get to the store next door. And I said, okay. I said, well, let me just give you this. And I immediately started praying for her because, we are a blessed people. And sometimes we forget how blessed we are till we see somebody that's not quite where we are in life, and they're not as fortunate as we are. So, um, but she was so grateful, and it's the little things. It's the little
It's the little
things.
thing.
It's the little
hmm
things that go a long way and make a difference in people's lives. So I am super grateful that I understand the calling, and I live for it. I love to serve, and be an encourager. If I can put a smile on
I'm
somebody's
glad
face,
you
I've
understand.
done my thing. Yeah, yeah,
I'm glad that you understand your
yeah,
calling
yeah.
because your calling has been a blessing to people like myself and others. And
Thank
we're just
you.
glad that you decided to be a part of Unapologetically Me today,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm grateful that you decided to bless us,
Mhm.
with just a part of your story this
Yeah,
this afternoon.
yeah.
And if I haven't told you anything else, Tina,
Mhm.
today, um, out of I think we may have met like in
Right.
1990 something, whatever. But for
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
reason and
Hmm.
whatever year, I'm glad
Hmm.
that the Lord decided to make you my friend, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
there are people that have come into my life for whatever reason and whatever time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he decided to keep you a part of my life. And I hope that he decided to maintain our friendship forever, because you are a wonderful person, and I thank God for you.
Well, thank you.
And my Cedric, I love me.
Right.
Teddy Pooh.
Yeah. He's still steady Pooh.
My Teddy Pooh. You will always be my Teddy Pooh.
Right.
And, but you just keep on singing and blessing us, and blessing the babies in the daycare, and being a part of our lives. And we thank God for you. Tell our audience where we can find you, where we can pick your music up, listen to you. Let us know where we can be a part of your ministry.
Absolutely. So I have a few videos out on YouTube. You can just search Tina Ratliff, TinaRatliff, as in Frank. You can find me there. My music is on Amazon, is on Spotify, it's on Pandora, it's on Apple Music, probably about any platform that you use to stream or download music. You should be able to find it. And everything is always under Tina Ratliff. And so you'll find my latest release, Let Me Tell It, as well as my earlier projects. So I would love for you all to check it out. Let me know what you think about it. If you like it, if you don't like it, if it blesses you, I would love to hear your feedback on it. It is, like I said, it is my passion. It is my gift to the world to share and to bless others with it. So I pray that it blesses you. If you're in the Charlotte area and you need childcare, you can also find us on Facebook at Promoting Growth Childcare. We are still enrolling for summer camp, and we've got a new pre-K program coming up. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be totally awesome. So I'm everywhere. You can find me on Facebook as well, Instagram, Tina Ratliff, the artist or the daycare provider. I am easy to find.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate that. Absolutely. And we will definitely keep you in mind, whether we are online or offline in the Charlotte area. We love you, and we pray that God will continue to bless you and promote you. And you stay prayed up for me as well as we will for you.
Absolutely.
And you continue to stay blessed, girl, and highly favored. All right.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Love you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. This is Unapologetically Me signing off for the afternoon. We love you. We'll see you next week. God bless. Have a good evening.
Thank you for joining Unapologetically Me, Charisma Eve. Please like, share, and subscribe. And join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for another exciting episode wherever you listen to your podcast.